and daddy's divorce, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
This is before Vincent.
Before Vincent. Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with mommy car insurance.
Or mommy needs a car.
Normally, I would never have a conversation with Trina or any of my sisters about helping out financially with my mom. But because I'm so stressed in that category, I needed to let her know what I felt. Hurts my feelings every day. My feelings hurt every day because I'm in a financial situation myself because I can't work the way.
Toni Braxton just made the most shocking move in Braxton family history, and fans are stunned. According to multiple insiders, and now confirmed by Tamar herself, Toni allegedly kicked Towanda off the upcoming Braxton family reboot after uncovering that $50,000 mysteriously vanished from Tamar's account, and the trail allegedly leads straight to Towanda's name. This isn't some petty sibling argument, this is fraud, betrayal, and a sisterhood completely falling apart in real time. Tamar was reportedly devastated when she discovered her business funds had been drained, only to learn the money was rerouted through a shared family trust, one that Towanda quietly accessed without permission. When Toni found out, she didn't hesitate. She told producers she would not film another scene with Towanda, and demanded she be cut from the show immediately. Evelyn tried to downplay it as a family misunderstanding, but Tamar isn't letting this one slide, and neither is the internet. What started as a Braxton family reunion has now turned into a full-blown financial scandal, and the receipts are messier than anyone could have imagined. Sister or not, Toni said what she said, and Towanda is out. It all started with a phone call Toni Braxton never expected to receive. VH1's finance department flagged a suspicious transaction. $50,000 had been quietly pulled from a shared business account linked to pre-production funds for the Braxton family reboot. At first, everyone assumed it was an error, maybe a budget miscalculation or a delayed transfer. But when Toni demanded answers and an internal review, what they found was something far more calculated. The money didn't just vanish, it was rerouted into an account connected to Towanda Braxton. And once Tamar found out, everything unraveled. Tamar had been investing heavily into a production sub-brand tied to the show, including a beauty collab and a digital docuseries that centered around her healing journey. That $50K was supposed to cover vendors, stylists, camera crews, and location holds. Instead, the entire project was halted mid-week due to missing funds. Tamar was confused, then panicked, then sick. That money was everything I had left after the last deal fell apart, she reportedly told a close friend. It was mine. And somebody took it like it was nothing. Toni, always the composed one, immediately started digging. She reached out to VH1's legal counsel, demanded a line-by-line of all shared expense reports. What they found shocked everyone, including Toni herself. Over 3 weeks, the funds had been moved in small chunks, just under reporting thresholds. It wasn't one big withdrawal. It was planned. And every digital trail led back to Towanda. The moment Toni saw Towanda's name attached to the rerouted funds, she snapped. She didn't call. She didn't text. She pulled up to the set of the family show with the receipts in hand and marched straight into the green room where Tamar was trying to hold herself together. She did it, Toni said flatly. It was Towanda. Tamar collapsed in the chair. No, she wouldn't. But Toni just stared at her. Cold, hurt. She already did. The confrontation happened that same day. Toni demanded production halt filming. This is fraud. I'm not filming with a thief. When producers tried to calm her down, she didn't flinch. You can replace the lights, the location, the glam team, but you cannot replace trust. And Towanda broke every ounce of that. Towanda was blindsided when Toni walked into her trailer, contract folder in hand, voice shaking with fury. What the hell were you thinking? She asked. Towanda tried to play dumb. What are you talking about? But Toni dropped the paperwork on the table. $50,000. My baby sister's money, gone. Rerouted. Signed by you. Silence. Towanda's lips trembled. I didn't mean to. But Toni cut her off. You meant to. You planned it. You just didn't mean to get caught. Tamar couldn't even face her sister. When they crossed paths in the hallway, Tamar whispered, "You robbed me. And you think I'm supposed to pretend like it didn't happen because we're family?" She shook her head. "Nah, not this time." Evelyn was called in later that night to try and fix things. Her first response, "This is just a misunderstanding." She insisted they handle it privately, off camera, for the sake of the show. "We're finally back on TV. Don't ruin it with more drama." But Tamar wasn't interested in protecting the show anymore. "She stole from me, Mama. You want me to smile in her face while she cashes my money?" The family was split. Trina tried to mediate but couldn't deny the facts. Towanda had betrayed her own blood. And this wasn't the first time money had come between them, it was just the first time she got caught on paper. By the end of the week, Tamar had pulled out of the next 2 filming days. Toni issued a formal complaint to the network, and Towanda was escorted off the set after a screaming match with production. She shouted, "This was supposed to be our comeback." But for Toni, there was no comeback. You don't steal from your family and expect to be welcomed back like nothing happened. The cameras captured it all. The tension, the silence, the explosion. And when the footage leaks, it's going to break the internet. It didn't take long for the rest of the Braxton family and the internet to catch wind of what happened on set. Once word spread that Toni had kicked Towanda off the show for allegedly stealing $50,000 from Tamar, social media turned into a courtroom. Fans were digging through past interviews, old clips, and forgotten Instagram lives, trying to find the early signs of betrayal. And what they found painted a picture that was impossible to ignore. This wasn't a first-time offense, it was a pattern that had been building for years. Back at VH1 headquarters, producers were in full damage control mode. Contracts were being reviewed. Footage from the confrontation was being examined frame by frame. Multiple crew members confirmed to blogs that Towanda had been escorted off set, and not voluntarily. "It was bad," one assistant said. "She was screaming at Tamar, at producers, even at the hairstylist like she was betrayed. But sis, she got caught." Meanwhile, Tamar was unraveling. According to sources close to production, she showed up the next day to retrieve her things, visibly shaken but holding her head high. "It's the betrayal for me," she reportedly said to a producer. "Like, I let her in. Again. And she turned around and put a knife in my back." Tamar had believed in this reboot. After years of heartbreak, trauma, and rebuilding, she saw the show as a second chance, a way to reconnect, to heal, to redefine what the Braxton legacy could be. She never expected her own sister to be the one who'd compromise all of it, and for money that Tamar says wasn't even worth the damage it caused. "You didn't just steal from my account," Tamar told her in front of cameras. "You stole from my future, from my trust, from my healing." Her voice cracked in the footage that's now being whispered about behind closed doors at the network. How do you recover from that? Evelyn was the first to go into full-blown defense mode. She reportedly called Toni and Tamar separately, urging them not to involve outsiders in the issue. "This is a family matter," she allegedly told Tamar. "We don't let outsiders pick at our wounds." Tamar, however, was not trying to hear it. "That's the problem, Mama. You call it a wound, I call it a robbery." Then Evelyn said something that lit a fire under the internet. Maybe she needed it. That phrase, those 4 words were screenshotted, reposted, dragged, and dissected across every platform. Fans couldn't believe Evelyn would try to justify stealing, let alone from her own daughter. "This is why Tamar don't heal," one Twitter user posted. "She's surrounded by people who think her pain is a paycheck." Even Trina, who has historically stayed neutral, couldn't stay quiet this time. She posted a photo of herself and Tamar with the caption, "Sisters should lift each other, not rob each other." That post alone got over 250,000 likes in under 12 hours. And then came the resurfacing of Tracy Braxton's old warnings. In a 2018 interview, Tracy had hinted that certain people in the family had a habit of borrowing money and forgetting to pay it back. She said, "Sometimes it ain't about the money, it's about the principle. About how folks treat you once they get what they want." At the time, Everyone thought she was talking about a distant cousin. But now? Fans are putting the pieces together. She was talking about Towanda, one fan wrote. Tracy saw this coming years ago. Tamar reposted that same clip with a single caption. Tracy tried to tell us. Now the internet was fully activated. Reddit threads broke down every past argument involving Towanda and finances. Clips of her bragging about her skincare line resurfaced a line that many now suspect may have been partially funded by the very money she rerouted. Fans weren't buying the misunderstanding defense anymore. They were calling it what it looked like: intentional theft. And Toni? She wasn't playing either. Sources say Toni told producers, "I don't care if this ruins the format of the show. She's not filming with me again. Period." And when asked by the network if she would be open to reconciliation on camera for ratings, Toni allegedly replied, "Reconciliation requires repentance." And she hasn't even apologized. Evelyn continued to downplay the situation. She appeared briefly on a small Christian podcast saying, "Families go through storms, but we are not defined by our darkest moments." She was clearly trying to control the narrative. But fans were done. One commenter wrote, "Your darkest moments keep being public because y'all never clean up the mess, you just sweep it under a bigger rug." VH1 released no official comment, but behind the scenes, they were re-editing trailers, reworking episodes, and removing Towanda from group promotional materials. Her name was being scrubbed, quietly, but visibly. And still Towanda said nothing. No apology, no statement, just silence. But what Tamar was about to leak next would make that silence deafening. Towanda might have chosen silence, but Tamar didn't. After days of watching her sister dodge accountability and watching Evelyn paint the situation as just another Braxton storm, Tamar did what she does best. She pulled out the receipts. Late one night, Tamar went live on Instagram. No glam. No filter. Just a cold, quiet fury in her eyes. She didn't speak right away. She just held up her phone and slowly panned the camera to her laptop screen. There it was, a digital paper trail, time-stamped emails and screenshots, showing how the $50K was siphoned from Tamar's business fund and rerouted into an account under Towanda's name, masked behind a Braxton Legacy Holdings shell account. "Y'all wanted proof," Tamar said, voice flat. "Here it is. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a setup, and she thought I'd never find out." The comments were coming in so fast the feed nearly crashed. "Oh my God, she really stole it! Not Legacy Holdings. Toni was right to kick her off." Tamar scrolled through the transaction records as the world watched in real time. Each payment was under $5,000. Spread out, calculated, hidden in a way that suggested Towanda didn't just steal, she planned it. Tamar continued. "She told producers I was being dramatic. She told Mama I was blowing it out of proportion. But how you gon' blow up something that's sitting right here in black and white?" She paused. "You didn't just take money. You took peace. You took trust. You took time I can't get back. And for what? A skincare brand? Some wigs and waist trainers?" Within minutes, clips from the live flooded TikTok, Twitter, and fan forums. Her voice, shaky with betrayal, had become a rallying cry. And then, as if it couldn't get worse, Tamar dropped a voice memo, a real, unedited voicemail left by Towanda just 1 week before the scandal broke. "Tay, don't freak out when you see the account stuff. I was gonna tell you. I just needed to move some things around for a bit. But it's not like I'm robbing you. We're family." The internet exploded. "We're family" became the most quoted and memed phrase of the day, and not in a good way. Fans dragged Towanda for weaponizing sisterhood while committing digital theft. Tamar ended her live with a sentence that pierced through every platform like lightning. "You don't rob someone you love. You rob someone you think won't fight back. And I'm not that girl no more." Blogs ran with the story for days. Headlines screamed betrayal. Tamar leaks audio of Towanda's $50K theft, fans demand her removal. Toni stands firm, no filming with fraud. Braxton family implodes as receipts drop hard. Meanwhile, VH1's production offices were in chaos. They'd already halted filming once. Now, with the receipts public, they had no choice but to consider a full rebranding. One source close to the production told a gossip site, "Towanda's done. There's no coming back from this. She's out." But Evelyn wasn't giving up. She went live herself, defensive, dismissive, and still refusing to call it what it was. Families go through things. Money comes, money goes. We don't tear each other apart over finances. Her tone was polished, calculated, soaked in the same Southern church mother energy she'd weaponized for years, but the audience wasn't buying it anymore. One fan commented, "Money don't just go, ma'am. It was stolen." Another wrote, "You covered for her once again." And now Tamar paying the price. Tamar reposted Evelyn's video with a short caption, "Let her tell it, I'm always the problem. But the math never lies." And then came the fan firestorm. Hashtags trended back to back. Number Fire Towanda. Number Justice for Tamar. Number Braxton Heist. Number Keep It Real Toni. Some fans even demanded that Tamar get her own spin-off, completely separate from the Braxton brand. Others asked Toni to executive produce a series focused on healing the legacy without the toxicity of those who kept abusing the name. Through it all, Towanda still didn't speak. She deactivated comments on her Instagram. She unfollowed Toni. She removed all promo posts for the family show from her page, but the damage was already done. Her silence paired with Tamar's receipts became an admission louder than any press release. And Tamar? She wasn't crying anymore. She was reclaiming everything she'd been robbed of. The fallout wasn't just emotional anymore, it was financial. Towanda's name was now blacklisted from all future promotional material tied to the Braxton family reboot. VH1 quietly began pulling her from the call sheets. Publicity schedules were rewritten. Group appearances became just Toni and Tamar. Internally, the decision was final, but externally, the mess was just beginning. Days after Tamar's bombshell receipts exposed Towanda's digital theft trail, more documents started surfacing. This time, leaked by a disgruntled VH1 staffer who was tired of seeing Tamar gaslit and silenced. They posted screenshots of legal memos showing that Evelyn had been informed of Towanda's behavior days before Toni was told, and chose not to say anything. She was advised that a potential breach of contract involving unauthorized fund access had occurred, but Evelyn responded in an internal email, "Let's handle it in-house. We can't afford another scandal this early in the rollout." The backlash was swift. Blogs tore into Evelyn. Fans demanded to know why a mother would cover up theft instead of holding her daughter accountable. Tamar reposted the memo with her usual fire. "In-house? I'm not a corporation, I'm your daughter. And I was robbed." Hashtags erupted again. Number Tamar deserved better. Number Evelyn knew. Number Towanda the thief. Number Justice 450K. Meanwhile, Towanda's Instagram comments remained off. She posted a single muted clip, just a flickering candle and the words, "God sees the heart." That post was immediately screenshotted and reposted with captions like, "He sure does, sis, and he saw your hand in Tamar's bank account too." Toni, who had stayed mostly quiet after removing Towanda from the show, broke her silence with surgical precision. She issued a rare, short, but powerful statement through her publicist. "Family is one thing, fraud is another. I stand by truth, receipts, and integrity always." Fans lost their minds. Toni been done with Towanda. Toni don't play when money is involved. She chose peace and facts over family fakery. And just when people thought the dust was settling, another bomb dropped. Towanda filed a legal complaint, claiming she was defamed by the leak of the financial documents and that Tamar's live video had incited harassment, character damage, and created a hostile business environment. She requested a cease and desist to stop Tamar from further posting about her. Tamar's response, "Another live. You think you can steal from me, then play the victim." then try to silence me with legal threats? Baby. This is why people don't heal. Because the ones who broke them think they can sue the truth away. Her voice broke with exhaustion. I didn't ask for this. I didn't go looking for this drama. I was just trying to get my business off the ground. And now I'm sitting here with nothing while the same people who broke me are filing paperwork like they're the victims. She paused. I'm not the villain in this story. I'm just the only one willing to stop pretending. Behind the scenes, more cracks started forming. Trina reportedly told producers she was done filming until things felt safe again. Toni refused to attend a family press event. Tamar pulled her business deal out of the family brand entirely and announced she'd be going solo from here on out. Towanda? She was reportedly hiding out in Miami, staying with a friend, avoiding paparazzi, and ignoring media requests. Her attorney released a bland, one-paragraph statement. Miss Braxton denies all malicious intent and remains committed to her family's unity. But the truth was, unity was dead. Fans, producers, even the Braxtons themselves had watched a legacy unravel in real time. Not because of gossip, not because of haters, but because one sister chose betrayal, and another chose to speak up. And Tamar? She was finally being heard. The storm didn't pass, it only picked up speed. VH1 was now facing mounting pressure from both the public and internal executives to either scrap the Braxton reboot altogether or rebrand it entirely without Towanda. Viewers had made their stance clear. No Towanda. No tolerance. And the producers, once hesitant to interfere in family drama, finally had to accept what was plain as day: the Braxton brand was imploding from the inside out. Inside the network, emergency meetings were being held. The footage from the live episodes was being re-evaluated. Tamar's live receipts had more views than the show's own trailer. And what made things worse? Advertisers began pulling out. Brand partners didn't want to be associated with unresolved theft allegations and online bullying. One sponsor reportedly emailed the production team and said, "Until the issue with Miss Towanda Braxton is addressed with transparency, we're pausing all involvement." And in the middle of it all, Evelyn kept pushing for silence. Tamar leaked a voicemail. Evelyn left her just a day before the live went viral. "You've made your point, baby. But you airing all this is hurting us more. Don't let the devil use your pain to destroy what we built." Tamar responded live. "I'm not destroying anything. I'm revealing what's already broken. If the foundation was solid, a little truth wouldn't shake it." The fans erupted. Evelyn's deflection was being called out more than ever before. Thousands of viewers were finally realizing that generational gaslighting had been woven into every Braxton family reunion special, every apology dinner, every healing circle. What was once viewed as noble grace was now being recognized as willful silence. Even Toni, long considered the peacekeeper, wasn't playing middle anymore. In a closed-door call with producers that got leaked by someone on the team, she allegedly said, "I can't be part of something that rewards betrayal. My name means something. If this show turns into another circus, I'm out." Towanda's legal threats had officially backfired. Her attempt to paint herself as the victim pushed her even further into public backlash. Fan-made compilations of past interviews surfaced, showing her repeatedly brushing off Tamar's cries for support, joking about not remembering things from the past, and minimizing her sister's mental health struggles. One fan tweeted, "Towanda been playing the calm, silent one. But calm ain't clean. Silence ain't holy. It's calculated." Amid the mess, Tamar rose. She announced that her business project, the one that had been derailed by the missing $50K, would be relaunched independently, without the Braxton name attached. This time, it's mine, all mine, and it's clean. She launched a GoFundMe, not because she needed charity, but because fans demanded a way to support. In less than 48 hours, over $300,000 was raised. The support was overwhelming. Black women in business, survivors of family betrayal, Fans who had followed her since Love and War, they all came forward to lift Tamar up. One fan wrote, "You didn't just survive. You turned the knife they left in your back into a crown." And just when everyone thought there couldn't be more, VH1 made an announcement. The Braxton reboot was not cancelled, but it was being restructured without Towanda. They released a short statement. "Due to unforeseen legal and ethical complications, we've made the difficult decision to proceed with the series without Miss Towanda Braxton. We remain committed to telling authentic stories that resonate with our viewers." The internet broke in half. Tamar posted a simple graphic, restoring what should have never been broken. Even Toni reposted it with a heart. Trina commented, "Facts." Towanda said nothing. Her social media went dark. No apology. No accountability. Just silence. But silence didn't stop the wave, because Tamar had turned pain into purpose. And Toni? She made it clear there's no room in this legacy for betrayal disguised as sisterhood. The Braxton reboot finally began filming again, but the energy on set had completely shifted. Gone were the forced smiles and fake forgiveness scenes. Gone were the promo shoots where sisters sat next to each other pretending they hadn't just betrayed one another a week earlier. This time, the cameras captured a family reckoning in real time, stripped bare of polish and PR. Tamar and Toni walked into the new production meeting not as cast members, but as survivors of betrayal, of dysfunction, of decades of silence wrapped in sisterhood. There were no more secrets. Towanda had been removed from all production schedules, her footage archived, and her storyline shelved indefinitely. VH1 confirmed that she would not be returning. Not this season, maybe not ever. As for Evelyn, she was now fighting a war of her own. Facing backlash for defending Towanda and covering up the theft, she threatened legal action against VH1 for allowing Tamar to slander her publicly. But the network wasn't moved. They released a quiet, cutting statement. "We support all cast members in their journeys toward healing and accountability. We will not interfere with truth-telling." In other words, Evelyn, sit down. And Tamar did not hold back. In her final live, viewed by over 1.2 million people in less than 24 hours, she addressed everything. "Y'all tried to break me," she said. "Y'all said I was the dramatic one, the sensitive one, the loud one. But all I was the truthful one. And now that I've said what needed to be said, you want to run to the lawyers? Baby, I don't need your permission to be real." She looked directly at the camera. "I forgive you, Towanda. But forgiveness don't come with a reset button. You can heal over there." Tamar announced her new business venture, a full relaunch of her lifestyle and healing brand, backed by fans, powered by integrity. She even revealed that Toni would be co-producing the spin-off docuseries, now officially titled Braxton: The Real Legacy. Toni spoke in a rare interview with Essence, saying, "Sometimes love means making hard choices, and my choice was to stand beside the sister who stood in truth. Towanda made her decisions, now we're making ours." The internet had never seen a Braxton moment like this. It wasn't staged. It wasn't PR crafted. It was raw, painful, and necessary. Towanda resurfaced weeks later in a brief video where she offered an apology that felt hollow. She said, "I made mistakes. I was hurting and acted out of desperation. I hope one day we can move past it." But she never said the word sorry. Not to Tamar. Not to Toni. Not to the fans. And that told everyone everything they needed to know. Because accountability doesn't whisper. It confesses. It takes the mic without a script. And Tamar? She had held that mic the whole time. The new version of the family show went on to break records in its premiere, even without Towanda. Ratings soared, audiences connected, and the story of real pain, real healing, and real consequences finally took center stage. And in the final moments of the premiere episode, Tamar stood in front of a mirror. No glam, just her. She looked into her own eyes and whispered, "I didn't lose a sister. I lost a saboteur." The screen faded to black, and the legacy began again. What would you do if your own sister stole from you and your family told you to stay silent about it for the sake of image? Would you let it slide for the cameras? Or would you speak up like Tamar did, knowing the backlash might come from the people closest to you? This story isn't just about $50K, it's about broken trust, stolen healing, and a legacy that almost got rewritten by betrayal. Toni stood by the truth. Tamar stood by herself. And Towanda? Well, she's standing alone now. Do you think she deserves a second chance? Should Evelyn be held accountable for enabling the cover-up? Or was Tamar right to burn the whole fake narrative down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because the truth always finds its voice, even when family wants it silenced. Number Justice for Tamar. Number Braxton Uncut.